Yeah, hello everyone. It's Saturday again, and we are back. Today we are going to an exhibition, and I have Anatoly with me. Hello, Anatoly. How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Can you tell the viewers what we have planned for today, basically?
Okay, now we are inside a very interesting museum, very interesting place. It includes lots of arts which we can explore. We can see some information about it. We can hear audio guide, and we also can explore using huts here can explore big paintings pointing to the definite paths, because huts they lead us to definite path with explanation about what is the meaning of it and so on. Very interesting place.
Mhm. So behind us, you can see a few posters of the exhibition. It's called A Night to Remember. It's about the sinking of the Titanic. Okay, so let's get
Yeah.
in. Let's walk into the exhibition. By the way, as soon as you walk in, you get a kind of a ticket. So this is
Mm-hmm.
the other rooms of the museum, and this is the beginning of the exhibition. Again, a night to remember a Titanic experience like never before, and it's really, really good. I've been here this morning. So when you walk in, you should get a ticket, and it's a ticket of a real person that was really on the Titanic. It's pretty small. I can hardly read that. So you get the name of the passenger, you get the age. This was actually a baby, age 2. And you get the class because on the Titanic they had first, second, and third class. Quite interesting. And we will see a few cabins of the first, and I think the other cabin was of the third class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is what you get. Did you get a ticket too, Anatoly?
No, I saw information about hut, but
No, you should get just walk out, leave the exhibition, and come in again, and then you should get a pop-up window. No, just leave the exhibition, go outside, and then come in
ah,
again.
object kept greeter owner given object Titanic passenger card.
Yeah, that's the one, and it should have a number because every time you walk in, you get a different passenger name. I don't know how
Yes.
many people actually drowned in that catastrophe.
Mm.
And here, this is also quite interesting. You can see a model of the Titanic
Mm-hmm.
here under this
Ah,
glass
yes.
dome. Let me try to zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at that time it was the biggest ship ever built, as far as I remember.
Yes, yes, yes. I also heard about it.
Yeah. And look at that, it had 4 chimneys. Wow. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, compared to modern cruise ships, it's probably pretty small. I haven't seen the comparison, but well, at that time it was. I think it was the biggest ship.
For that time, yes.
Yeah. And let me cam around a bit. So they have lots of photographs. This is an original photograph. The chimneys look ginormous. Wow, look at that. Wow. Never seen chimneys like that. And this was probably, well, it hasn't really rest. Can you read the labels here? Oh, now it's resing. Titanic leaving Belfast for her sea trials. Oh, the sea trials. 1912 and below. I can't read that. It hasn't rest yet. Where was it? Come on, res. Okay, Titanic as Southampton docks prior to departure 1912. Yeah, Southampton is still a big destination for cruise ships, even today. I think it's the biggest cruise ship port in the UK. And here is something from the shipyard where it was built. Where was it built, by the way? Do you know that?
Where? No, yeah, I don't know.
Launch of Titanic, 1911. Titanic was launched on May 31st, 1911 at 12:15 p.m. in the presence of Lord Peary J. Pierpont Morgan, blah blah blah, and 22 tons of soap and tallow were spread on the slipway to lubricate the ship's passage into the river Lagan. Lagan? That doesn't sound like UK, but it doesn't tell where it was built. I don't know.
Probably it is possible to find if we look here precisely.
Could you have a look at Wikipedia where it was built? That really would interest me.
Okay.
That sounds almost like Wales or so. Oh, here's another one. Titanic in dry dock. Titanic. The middle propeller was slightly smaller, at 17 feet in diameter. Wow. 5.2 meters. And the biggest one was 7.2 meters. The biggest propeller. Oh. That's quite a size. Well, you can see the comparison to the people standing under them. I don't know where it was built. It doesn't tell. Yeah, okay, let's...
It is Belfast. In Belfast.
Belfast, because it didn't sound like the UK Lagan. Belfast. Okay. Okay, let's walk in. So, anything interesting here on this pinboard? The whole world was talking about the Titanic, this wonderful new ship. Eva Hart, second class passenger. And I think they were on the journey to New York or from New York. I can't remember. I think they were sailing to New York, no? The Queen of the Queen.
It crashed close to Australia. It is what I know.
Australia? No. Australia can't be. There aren't any icebergs because it crashed against an iceberg.
It is South Pole. It is crashed in this region, but maybe more to south.
Yeah, it bumped into an iceberg, and icebergs are very dangerous because you can hardly see most of the iceberg because most of the iceberg is underwater. No, that was the tragedy, and it was at night. No, I think they crashed into the iceberg during the night. Yeah. Okay, let's move on into the exhibition. The next part you can see is That is a rebuild of the actual ship. No? Don't know
Mm.
what they call them. The gangways, walkways. I don't know what they call them. So this would actually be when you sit here. It's like being on the ship and looking out into the sea. And they made it dark because it happened at night, and you can see some stars over there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also interesting here. Being such a giant ship, they had all the luxury on board, and they had a whole kind of orchestra on board. And those are probably all the people who were playing in the orchestra. Let me zoom in a little bit. And it was a classic orchestra, so they played Strauss and all that. Bandmaster. Wow, he looks pretty old for 33. But it was strange. People looked much older in those time. Look at this
Yes.
here. John Frederick Preston Clark, bassist, age 30. I mean, I would have guessed he's 50 or so, no? It was so strange. People aged faster somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And when you click on this here, by the way, Anatoly, here on
Mm-hmm.
these things, you can get a HUD, and it plays some of the songs they played on board
Mm.
selection. I think only for 30 seconds or so. It's a giant. Uh, I can actually show that, but I'm not going to play it. Hopefully not. So this is what the hut looks like. So you have on the beautiful blue Danube, Wedding Dance by Linke, Alexander's Ragtime Band. That's that's Berlin. Uh, Base September by Godin and Song de Autonome by Joyce. Yeah, so you can play them when you click on this. You hear the songs. Well, 30 seconds of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's walk on. And this is also interesting. Let me zoom into the pictures. They found a violin somewhere. Let me try to get this in. One lost, now found. In 2013, it was announced that a violin found in a British man's attic inside a leather case with the initials WHH was the instrument used by Titanic's bandleader Wallace Hartley during the ship's final moments. When
Mm-hmm.
the violin was first discovered in 2006, some experts doubted its authenticity, but historians, scientists, and forensic experts spent the next 7 years examining the instrument before declaring in March of 2013 they were able to prove its authenticity beyond reasonable doubt. Hartley's body was reportedly pulled from the water days after the sinking, with his violin case still strapped to his back. Shortly thereafter, the violin was returned to Hartley's grieving fiancée Maria Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
So did that man steal the violin? I don't really get it. Oh, there's more. After Robinson's death in 1939, her sister gave the violin to the Bridlington Salvation Army and told its leader about the instrument's association with Titanic. The violin was later passed on to a violin teacher, who in turn gave it to an amateur musician, where it remained in the same family for over 70 years. So over here, this is a typical cabin. I think this is a third class. Looks like third class. And when it reses, I can show you. First, yeah. So let me zoom in. Or maybe, Anatoly, can you read that here on the poster? About
On the left.
third class passengers.
Okay,
I can show
there were,
the cabin.
yes, there were 84 two-berth cabins for third-class passengers on board Titanic. However, most cabins in third class has bunk beds for between 4 and 6 people and a small amount of wardrobe space and a sink that delivered fresh water and so on. I think it is a quite long story.
Interesting. I'm just zooming in, and they had cold and hot running water, but just one washing basin, and it's tiny. It looks tiny for 4 people. And you just read they even had berth with 6 bunk beds. Wow, even bigger. So that was third class. And here on the right, in a moment, I'm going to show you first class. Quite a change. Where are you? I can't even see you.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. Okay. So this is first class. That's quite a change. Look at that. It's at least double the size of that 4-bunk cabin, and this is sleeping 2. Looks pretty luxurious, almost like a normal bedroom. It's the bed on the side, and they even have a table and some chairs, and even a picture there, and the suitcases. But still pretty barren, no? They didn't even have any cupboards, any wardrobes to put. Oh, and they had a desk.
And the most valuable thing in this cruise is the space. And the passengers of the first class had enough space.
Yeah, and they probably paid a lot more. So let me read that, or at least a few lines from this poster. So this is first class passengers. Titanic's first class accommodation was capable of housing up to 735 passengers. That's not a lot. I mean, when you compare that to modern cruise ships, they can hold up to, I think, 3,000 passengers. They are not all in single cabins, but the style of accommodation on offer range from comfortable single berth cabins to magnificent multi-room parlor suites. The first class suites were decorated in various period styles and came equipped with many modern electrical appliances such as telephones, heaters, steward call bells, table fans, and electrical blowers to provide fresh air. Okay. Did we see that? Seen anything here? A fan? No, can't see that.
No.
They have a lot of tea here on the table, teapot and cups, but I don't see any other stuff. So this was probably not the most luxurious one. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Over here, when we turn around, oh, you can see a few more photographs. The photographs are really interesting. So this is probably one of the suites. Look at that. That looks like a normal apartment, no? Like a living room. They even have a fireplace. Wow. Yeah, that must have been very expensive indeed. If Titanic's sheer size did not overwhelm and impress its passengers, then a tour of its lavish interiors surely would. The interior of the ship was often likened to a floating palace containing some of the finest examples of craftsmanship and interior design ever seen in an ocean liner to this day. Yeah, well, sadly it's black and white, but I think you get an impression that looked pretty luxurious. And that must have been Art Deco, around Art Deco time, no? So that was pretty lavish anyway. And here they build a part of a staircase. And I think next to that they have a photograph of the actual staircase on the Titanic. Let me zoom in. Yeah, seems to be the one. Yeah, it looks very similar. Look at that. So this was the actual staircase with that little statue there. And let me read what's written here on the label. The Grand Staircase, 1911. One of Titanic's most distinctive features was a first-class staircase known as the Grand Staircase or Grand Stairway. This descended through 7 decks of the ship, from the boat deck to E deck. It was capped with a dome of wrought iron and glass that admitted natural light. Each landing of the staircase gave access to ornate entrance halls lit by gold-plated light fixtures. At the upmost landing was a large carved wooden panel containing a clock with figures of honor and glory crowning time, flanking the clock face. Wow. Okay, let's zoom in. And Anatoly, if you want to take a picture, maybe you can walk into this. You can even walk up the stairs, but it doesn't go very far. So maybe we can just stand here in front, so we can say we've been on the Titanic. And it looks, it's pretty close to the real thing, no?
Yes.
And when you look up, you can see the dome. So this must be the upmost landing over 7 decks, and you can see the clock in the background. Yeah. Yeah. And that looks pretty much like stained glass windows, no? You still there? I can't hear you.
Yes,
oh, okay,
yes,
now
I'm
I can
here.
hear you again. I couldn't hear you for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty lavish, I must say. So let's move on. And this morning there was a lady standing here. I don't know why she isn't here anymore. Luckily for me, I took pictures of that. She was standing here on the corner. And I don't think
Yes,
that
I
was
see.
an avatar. Can you see her? I can't see her.
Yes, I can see her, yes. Probably it is not Avatar.
No, it's a non-playing character. But why can't I see her? That's strange. Oh, and again here over here there was a man standing explaining. He looked like Captain. Don't know. Can you see him too here in front of the iceberg?
Yes, I can, but probably not a captain. Maybe it is just sailor.
You're getting
Yes,
cold feet, Anatoly.
Yes, yes. Frederick Fleet Iceberg Red Hot. That phrase still mm, chills me to the bone. I am Frederick Fleet, and I was the lookout who first saw the berg that would sink the ship.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. Yeah.
he told about a story which happened with him.
Somewhere when we walk on, there is a video, and you can watch it here in the oh, here, over here it is. Or you can watch it on YouTube. I couldn't see it here on the monitor, so I actually had to go to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Can you run the monitor in front of you? Does it show anything?
Okay, something in the progress.
Yeah, well, actually here it
Iceberg
says
right ahead.
Frederick Fleet, RMS Titanic Lookout, and he was the first person to see it. And the lookout is very high up in the mast.
Mm.
Can you see anything?
No, but the system told that we can click and see it on the site.
Yeah, on YouTube. And I'm going to put the link under the video. That might be a good
Okay.
idea. Okay, let's walk on. I don't want to make it too long. So, and over here they have some photograph of the remains of the Titanic because it's underwater still. So this, I don't know what this is. Let me read the labels. Looks like the machine room. Shoes of Titanic victim in debris field near the stern. And port side forward expansion joint of the bow. The ship condition has deteriorated significantly in recent years, partly due to accidental damage caused by submersibles, but mainly because of an accelerating rate of growth of iron-eating bacteria. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty old already now, by now.
Mm.
Look at that. So these are actual photographs, underwater photographs, and this is the boots. It's strange that is leather, so that is still there and hasn't deteriorated at all. So they look pretty much intact. So strange,
Mm.
but the iron is not. Then this is the front. It looks like the front part of the ship, no?
Mm.
The bow of the wrecked Titanic. Titanic was long thought to have sunk in one piece, and over the years, many schemes were put forward for raising the wreck. None came to fruition. A number of expeditions were mounted to find Titanic, but it was not until September 1st, 1985, that a Franco-American expedition led by Robert Ballard succeeded. The team discovered that Titanic had, in fact, split apart before sinking to the seabed. Both sections hit the seabed at considerable speed, causing the bow to crumble and the stern to collapse entirely. Bow is by far the more intact section and still contains some surprisingly intact interiors. Interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when you look down, you're walking on almost like a seabed. You can
Mm-hmm.
see some. What is it? Looks like a part of a clock, no? Down there.
Probably it is bottom of the sea,
Yeah,
of the
here's the
ocean.
shoe again, or the boot.
Some wrinkles.
And some crockery, I think. No, that looks like what is it? Like a bowl. Yeah, a shaving thingy, and yeah, yeah, nicely made. So definitely come here for the
Mm-hmm.
exhibition and also the museum. And over here, that's kind of sad. You can see some of the victims, the real photographs. And here is a list of all the victims.
Mm-hmm.
And they are third class passengers, 535 victims. Wow. And only 173 saved. And what is this? Oh, from the crew. Wow. Look at that. 700 from the crew lost their lives. 1,400, almost 1,600 people died in that catastrophe. And here are some pictures from the lifeboats. And look at the sea, and the boats are pretty small. And this
Mm-hmm.
is the day when they heard about the disaster. So this is Titanic disaster, great loss of life, evening news. This looks like somewhere in the United States, probably New York or so. Yeah, it's very sad, no? That so many people, and because of an iceberg. And it was during the night. Nowadays, that probably wouldn't happen anymore unless all their radar systems were not working. So his name in Second Life is, if it addresses, the curator. Emery Milinex joined Second Life in July of 2009 and in 2010 opened Common Grounds Coffee House, where he hosted open mic nights and a thriving book club. In his first life, Emery is a freelance artist specializing in graphic design, web design, and illustration. He resides in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, well done. Pretty good exhibition,
Yes.
no?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to leave a donation, they have these boxes here. So to keep up this museum, they have a kind of a gift shop, so you can buy a few items. You can buy the posters. Let me zoom in. So a poster of this exhibition when it reses. Come on, res. Yeah. So that was it. Hopefully, it was interesting for you. A night to remember, a Titanic experience like never before. Did you like it, Anatoly?
Yes, I liked it, but I would say that it is a sad story. And
Yeah,
here on this museum, we can explore bright pictures of Monet and something, and other artists too.
yeah, yeah. So if you're interested in the Titanic, come here, do your own tour, and you probably need a little bit more time. Yeah, it's really interesting and it's very well done, I must say. The name again, it's the Vordun Museum. I'm going to post the link under the video. And next week there will, yeah, Anatoly is on holiday. I might
Hmm.
do an exploration on my own, but it will definitely be on Sundays. Yeah, thank you very much, Anatoly. Any last words from you?
Okay, it was a very informative event. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, and everyone have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Goodbye.